Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys an idea. This is looking straight ahead up the track, and I want to give you an idea of how steep this track is. So here it is, me looking with the camera just pointed straight perpendicular. So as you can see there, it hits my head height about 15 meters up the road, and this is looking back from that same position, and then all you're looking at is, you can't even see the road. That's how steep the track is, and this is off into the bush. So you can see where you've come from, that's down into the valley, and there's a sheer drop on that side, so if you lose your footing you're over it, and eventually you'll hit this place, which is the summit of the ridge. Now this is 2 hours into the walk that we hit this, and this is another looking forwards. This is what you're seeing, this is the kind of stuff you're walking over. So the footing's a bit treacherous, and so it's getting a bit late, and I'm being a bit quiet because Mrs. Wire's got to go to work in the morning. So let me get that down a little bit more. What I was trying to get at there was that we did this walk today, my mate and I, and it was a better part of 12 kilometres, I think. It was, as the crow flies, it was 10.7, but as you can see, you're going up and down ridges, and they're pretty steep. Now, when I walked this track, I dropped 2 kilos. I don't have to think about that at all. I know every time I walk that track, I'll drop 2 kilos. But then I have to hydrate and eat and put back the energy, because if you don't, you'll end up in hospital. So you can push yourself beyond the limits of endurance and everything else. That's an option, and I did that today. I was at that summit point there that you saw in the photos. I was actually sitting on the ground trying to recover myself, and I was so dizzy. I'm so unfit. Now, there was a time when I could sprint up that track. Alright, in my life I used to actually do cross country, and that track I used to run it, and I could do it, go away the whole 12.5 kilometres, but on the GPS it's only 10 because it doesn't take into account your elevations. So yeah, you're going up and down a fair way, but I know it's a 12.5 kilometre run because I used to run it, and I could run it in just under an hour when I was fit, and now I can't even walk it in under 3 hours. Look, I've got to stop and rest at the summit and rest halfway up the hills and recover. But when I jumped on the scale after getting home, I hit 104.5 kilos, 104.5, you heard it. So I dropped out of the 106s down into the 104s, and since then, it's now late at night, so since midday today when we got back, I've actually put on nearly 1 kilogram of eating food and hydrating, and mostly hydrating. That's how much I sweated and got out of myself, and it was good. It was a good system. I had some big achievements today. I renewed an acquaintance with somebody who's been out of my life for a while, and it was good. I caught up with some work in terms of the job search, and I got a lot of new applications out yesterday and today, and tomorrow I've got to go and meet with the government people about job search and follow up on whether they've got something for me that I can just go work somewhere. Even if I'm not in my chosen profession, I've got plenty of talent that I can do plenty of things, and someone will give me a job somewhere. But I want to be working in my chosen profession and gaining credits towards my chartered experience. So I need to be in my profession and being supervised by a chartered engineer in order to do that. So that's where I need to be. This is a little bit unscripted. It's late at night and I'm talking softly. I don't want to wake Mrs. Wiley up. She's asleep. But I've got a lot to do tomorrow, including go see the government people. My MRI, my brain scan, is next week, and I want to be at about 103 kilograms for that, because my breathing's a lot more controlled and easier. And the last time I went, I had a massive panic attack because I couldn't breathe. And I think that if I get a lot of this weight off, my overall health will improve, my breathing will improve. And I think that's going to help me when I have to go. They're going to actually try to knock me out and put me in the machine when I'm knocked out. So they can take their pictures of my brain and work out whether or not I'm okay or whether I've got to go back in for more surgery. Now I can tell you I'm a little bit scared. I don't know where that's going to end up because I've been feeling a bit stupid. I've been doing some silly things and not meaning to. And that was symptomatic of when I had the initial one. But it might just be the symptom of the repair, you know. It just might be that's how I've come out of it. To me, it's scary, and until I get an all clear, well, they gave me an all clear 12 months ago, but since then a lot's happened, and I can tell you that because of where the stent is, it's up here at the back of my head. Every so often, if I twink my neck in just the right way, it feels like someone's rammed a knitting needle up through the back of my skull. And, you know, it's something I've come to live with. It's like, you know, I've got pain as a result of old injuries, and I just accept that and move on. Well, this is just something else I accept and move on with. I'm not using any of this as an excuse. I need to move on, and that's what I'm going to do. I had a really good session with research today on Project Zumi, and I just want to quickly talk about that. So in turn, this is my ongoing health video, and I'm going to sign this one off. The final tip on the scale just about 20 minutes ago was 105.4. So I'm in the 105s. I've dropped a full kilo from where I was 4 days ago, but I've done 2 walks of at least 10 kilometers plus. So walking 10 kilometers drops a full kilo. That's it. But if I walk the Nerang walk, which is the one I've shown you on the video today, that's at least 12.5 kilometers, and it's like these ones. They go up and down the ridge, and it continues to, you know, like it just sheds kilograms. And if I continue to do that, I'll be well within my goal weight, you know, in a couple of weeks. The other good news is that Zumi's parts have come in. They were at the post office today, so the connectors. Connectors came, and the brake pads for the front discs came. So I've now got the full kit to do the front rotors and discs, and I've got the connectors to do the dash. I can rewire the dash if I so choose. And now what I'm going to do is sign off and talk about Project Zumi.